Hey guys, it's Morgan. We are back with another video on the 144 build. This is our giveaway bike, guys. We are building this thing up to be an absolute wicked lightweight off-road weapon, and then we are going to give it away. Those entries are now open, guys. Make sure you go to highland-cycles.com and check out all the rules for entry. You can get entries there. There are freeze ways to enter, all that good stuff. We are only doing 1,000 entries. So if I sell out of entries before we get this thing done, it's done. That's it. We're not doing any more, right? So get entered now. We're going after it. We're doing suspension today. We're rebuilding all the suspension. We're replacing parts because one of the parts on the original bikes, the upper tube was junk, and we're replacing that thing. We're going to rebuild the shock. It's going to be sweet, right? So join us for this video, learn how we do this, and like I said, go get entered to win this bike. It's going to be super, super rad.
Hey guys. It is time to get back to work on this 125, so I'm gonna grab the suspension. We're gonna head down to the shop. Let's get this stuff rebuilt. All right, so someday I will have a really cool suspension setup here at the house for my own stuff. But as of right now, my best setup is down at the shop. And it is a Tuesday. We're actually closed today because quick public service announcement. I just had my very first colonoscopy because I'm an old man, almost 50, and it was all clear, super happy. Don't even have to go in for another 10 years. But shout out to all you guys who are getting older. Do that. I don't want to see any of you dying from colon cancer. Yeah, PSA, get your butt checked, get that stuff checked out, make sure you're healthy, and then move on with your lives. So anyway, yeah, I think / hope I have all the parts to make this thing in much better shape. We've got the upper tube is no good on one of the forks, and the lower lug has been busted up on one of the forks. But I think I have all the parts at the shop to make this thing good to go. So we're gonna go down and find out. If not, I guess we'll have to order some parts. Make sure you guys support us. If you already shop at Rocky Mountain, use the link in the description of this video, or go to highland-cycles.com and you can go to the Rocky Mountain affiliate page. Anyway, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get down there. All right, days we closed. I don't want anybody coming in here. I gotta lock the door. So sorry anybody who came by on Tuesday. I'm busy. All right, guys. So we got some stuff apart here. This is the lower from the bike that we're rebuilding, and this is the lower from the other bike. They're the same. All that's the same. Those don't need to be replaced. But I'm checking. This is the upper that is damaged, so we want to replace that. This is the upper from the other one. The only thing I can see that's different is that they've tapered this more on the newer fork, and so this shape is different to hold the bushings and everything, but the seals and the bushings part numbers are all the same. So I think it's gonna work just fine. I think if we look inside here, it's just thinner. This is thicker. It's going to make that more rigid. So actually these forks might work better. So these are actually uppers from my kid's 250 that we replaced. We just did a whole new set of forks on that bike because well, because I had them basically. We put well, it's actually these are from the Beta that I had taken off because I put the Del Saggios. Anyway, I had extra forks, so I think we're going to be good. So this is the cartridge from the 05, which I want to use because the cartridges on these, I think those are what are messed up actually. I think there's long story there, but I think this is actually worn out. So we're going to use this cartridge, even though that's the old before the SSS. It's still very good. We valved it. We got all the problems fixed with that thing. So actually these forks work really, really well. So we're going to use that cartridge. We're going to rebuild that right now.
Actually, I take that back. We've got brand new SKF, both seals and bushings. Massive thank you to Intech. Gave me those when I was actually up there shooting that video. If you haven't checked out that video, make sure you do. And then, yeah, so I'm actually going to try to rebuild these outer tubes right now, and if they all go together well, that's gonna be awesome. Oh, and I measured, the diameters are the same, the lengths are the same, everything's the same. I think, like I said, the old style was just thicker down there, which it doesn't need to be. So with it being thinner, it'll give it more flex and actually hopefully make the bike even work better. So yeah, let's try building these things back together. All right, guys, got it all dialed in. Like I said, huge thank you to Intech, a big sponsor of this project, and of me as a shop slash writer, YouTuber, whatever. So big thank you to them. We got seals and bushings. You guys know that I love SKF seals. I actually really also like their bushings. They're a little more money, but they are very high quality. Just as good as OEM, if not better. So let's go ahead and put these things together. This video is going to be a little bit of an instructional video also, because why not? Get our seal on like that. Now, this spacer, so you can see it's got two sides. I would call it the flat side goes up, not the cupped side, if that makes sense. When you order SKF bushings from Intech, if you do, they come in a set, left and right, or, well, you know, each fork. So you got to order two sets, just like you do the seals. So we'll go outer bushing first, inner bushing. Now, put these all together, guys. If you haven't ever done this before, we're gonna go using our Tusk seal driver. Again, cannot thank Rocky Mountain ATV enough for all the help. One way I know, or I think I know, that these are going to work is the fact that the seals and bushings are the same. So that means that they all have to go together the same. But then also the stack is the same. So like the washer and all that are all the same thickness, everything. So I feel like we're going to be good. Maybe making a cool improvement to the performance by giving this thing a little more flexible upper. So we're just going to take our flat blade, push our circle up in there down nice and easy so we don't damage that seal. Boom, just like that. This is done. Now, old cartridge seems to work. I don't know. This thing was doing weird stuff to my kid on his other bike, so I'm not sure. Anyway, set that up to the side. Our springs and spacer. All right, now I'm gonna take this sucker apart. All right, so some of you guys are yelling at me before for not using the correct holding tool when I put these in to my soft jaws, even though it really doesn't matter because these are soft jaws and I barely clamp these down and I use the wrench to hold this. I will go ahead and I show you guys that I do have the correct tool from Deja Moto. It is a 29 millimeter barrel. And we will just put that in there like that. Just hold it nice and tight. Again, I'm still not clamping that hard on that thing because I don't need to. Our other Deja Moto tool for there. Tighten that down. it does make it nice because I don't have to use 4-cap wrench. So you guys are right. It's just sometimes you get in a hurry, and the other works just fine too. All right, so guys, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take this and we're gonna push up, pull that out. Now we're gonna clean all this off really good. Guys, when you're doing this part of it, you want to really inspect this shaft. You want to make sure there's no wear or shiny areas. This one looks great. Take this off. We're going to push our damper rod through. We're going to clean out the valving here. Check all that. Alright, now clean the inside of this really good. And I'm just using brake cleaner from NewTech. You guys are always asking me. This is from NewTech, N-U-T-E-C-H. Brake clean. They deliver it in 5-gallon barrels. So it makes my life easy. Put it in my sure shot. It's all good. Now, take our damper rod. I just use this. Sometimes you go easy, you don't want to bend it, but push that through. Put our nut back on. We're going to fill this. With 5-weight 4-coil 01M. We don't fill it, but we you don't fill it, obviously. You're gonna put enough in there. There's a ridge down inside there, and there's an amount. I know, I don't know what it is, but there's an amount that you put in here. But there's a ridge down in here. You just have, when you're done bleeding it, you got to make sure oil is just above that, and then you'll self bleed it out when you're all done. You don't want to measure it out. Also, by putting a little too much in there, that allows you to make sure 100% that it's all full. I like to push that up and take our compression valve and I'm gonna push this down in. Make sure you cover those holes, because of that, you saw what just happened. That way it doesn't splash directly on you. I'll start to tighten that just a little bit to hold it. Get our 29 on here again. I'm just gonna screw this in. You don't have to go crazy on this. When it tightens down, that's good. Just a beep. You don't have to go nuts. Now we're gonna pump it once, and that'll bleed out any excess oil. Make sure that the rod comes all the way out, which it did. Gotta make sure you get all your collars on these. They can fall off, which it did. So there, I'm gonna go spring. Other collar, and you always want to put the steel part towards the spring. That's why that's there. Let's protect it against any kind of abrasion. Now here's the ultimate test. Make sure this is going to work with these uppers. It should, because really all that's touching is the inner tube. Put our damper rod holder on there. Always use the plastic ones. Tusk sells an aluminum one. It is junk. It will ruin your damper rod. Do not buy that one from Tusk. Get this from Motion Pro. It's better. Or Race Tech. I think it's Race Tech actually. Wipe that down. Always take this. I always take it and push on it. Make sure it's springy, because that lets you know that the needle is going in and out. Otherwise, it could be stuck down in there. So make sure you spring in nice and good. And real quick, this, you always want this nut all the way down, so that when this bottoms out, it bottoms out against the rod, not against the nut. See, just by hand, and then we're going to bring this up with it. All right. All right. Now I'm gonna make sure that's nice and tight. There we go. There's no need for a torque spec there, guys. Don't strip it. It'd be really hard to do because it's big threads, but then also just don't be a gorilla, but then also you don't need to go crazy tight because there's an O-ring there and a crush washer. All right, guys, 350 cc's go in the outside of these things. There we go. Right on. I am super excited that that upper worked out. Now we've got a fresh upper fork tube. Well, kind of fresh. It's scratched up because it's my kids, but it's all nice and straight and no huge big wear marks. So that's one. Now let's get the other one. All right, guys, let's take this thing apart. This has a damaged lower lug, so I'm going to see, and it should be, if we can use this lug, because it is in good shape. So I'm going to take these apart. All right, guys, got this all cleaned and refreshed on the inside. Everything looked great, valve and all that. So now comes the ultimate truth. Is it going to work? I think it will. I hope it will. All right, here we go. Let's see if it slides down like it's supposed to. Come on, baby. All right, I don't think that's gonna work. Something is different. Yep. There is some sort of spacer in there, so that's not gonna work. We're gonna have to use this. That's unfortunate, but I'll show you why it's going to be okay. All right, guys, so that is not my optimal goal with this build. I'd love to have that be new and shiny, but here's the deal. It doesn't have to be, because I don't know if you can see very well, but this is just a cast surface to kind of protect that bolt. The bolt that goes up in there to hold everything together, but the machine surface is totally fine. So what we'll do is, what was been on this actually in the past is a guard. So there'll be a guard on here that will not be a big deal. That bolt won't get damaged. And again, this giveaway, guys, is not about building the shiniest, most perfect bike. It's about building the most perfectly operating motorcycle. So that's what we're doing here. Again, make sure you guys go to www.highland-cycles.com and get entered to win this bike. As you can see, we're going through everything, tip to tail, and making sure everything is, like I said, not perfect looking, but perfect performing. So I'm excited about that. This thing is going to be so freaking nice when we're done with it. And if you haven't checked out the motor videos, it's got a completely brand new balanced crank to the 144 piston from Athena, so it's super smooth, it doesn't vibrate a bunch. Brand new cylinder, brand new piston, brand new transmission bearings, everything. It's all shiny, fancy, brand new, and we are now going through the full chassis and making it all functionally brand new, so it is going to be one sweet machine. And the reason we're having to do this is there's some sort of spacer in here, and then it probably is attached to the lug. I don't know. I can see it now. I look in there. But anyway, it stops that spring. So unfortunately, you can't use that other lower, but that's all right. We got this bike used from a good friend of mine. And this is actually already broken when we got it, and it's never leaked a drop. So those of you guys who know. Now it's got the cool upper, the thinner, more flexy upper. All right, guys, forks. Totally rebuilt, refreshed, ready to rock. I'm super excited about that. These things were always really good for my kid, Ewan, that was riding and racing it. So the valving is, like I said, it's spot on. They're not the SSS, but they're valved to act like the SSS, and they work really well. Next thing's next. Let's rebuild this shock. All right, this is gonna be foamy, guys, because it's been in here for a while. See that? That's what happens with a bladder over time, is that they do leak nitrogen into the oil. Never said that they don't. But I will take that problem over the piston problem any day, because if you actually service these when you're supposed to, which this hasn't been, because this bike has been in pieces now for well over a year, because my kid, when he scattered it and we had to rebuild that motor, he moved to his 250 right away, and he's been so happy with the 250 that we just haven't even been messing with it. So that is why that looks like that. And they all will if you leave them sitting long enough. I will take that over the sticky piston slash harder to service slash just don't love the setup. Yeah, I'll take needing to service this more, because these are super easy to service when you do it right. All right, now I'm gonna go get a seal bushing and dust seal for this. I'll be right back. Gonna rebuild this seal head. I think I've shown this lots of times, but this is, guys, this is why I don't like to do the whole seal head thing, because this is so much less expensive and easy. First, we're gonna get that off. There we go. Now, take our race tech tool, put it in there. Over here, we're just gonna push that sucker out. Got our fresh one. Take the other side of the tool, put it in there. Actually, let's spray this out real fast. Make sure we don't have anything in there. Come in from the back side now. Same deal with the vise. Let's get it nice and straight. There we go. New bushing, ready to rock. Now, got a new dust seal. And if someone knows the cool tool for this, let me know, I'll buy it. But I just use a socket and the vise. If there's something out there that makes this as easy as the bushing tool, then I'll purchase it. Although, this is pretty easy too. I mean, that's not terrible, but I like cool tools. So, little spacer goes in. Got our new seal. That spacer guy. Rubber bumper. Bullet tool makes this way nice because you just go, well, actually, ooh, I almost jumped the gun. That guy first. Then bullet tool. Then this goes on. Just like that. Alright guys, now we're going to reinstall the valving, which has already been TBT'd and is very, very good. Blow this stuff off with some brake clean and some air. Fresh red thread locker, and yes, I do like stuck nuts still. I just honestly, I have a bunch of this Worth stuff. I got to use it up, and the Worth is obviously very good too. I like the stuck nuts better, but mainly because stuck nuts is a huge supporter of the sport. And I will not use Loctite because one of their family members is trying to shut down all of the dirt biking in the Rico area, and so I don't support Loctite. I don't think you should support Loctite. I don't think what we're doing is going to affect their bottom line at all, but if I can avoid supporting someone who hates motorcycles, I will do it. KYB shock oil. I think it's SC2 or whatever their good shock oil is. That's what we run. I can't remember the name of it. O1M is the fork oil. Yeah, anyway, it's whatever that is. This is going to be a mess. I put too much in there. Alright guys, I'm going to bleed this like this for a little bit. Then we're going to flip it upside down and we're going to bleed it out of the compression port because that's how you get all the air out. But this will get a lot of it out. Just pumping it up and down like this and making sure you, when you go down, you push really hard. Let it sit for a while, let all the bubbles kind of come to the top because it's kind of fine bubbles in there, and they'll, if you pull them back up, it'll suck them right back down in. So you gotta let it sit for a little bit. This is slow. Shock pumps are neat. They're really cool. They go fast and kind of hands off a little bit, but they're also very expensive. The other thing I like to do, guys, before I put all this, push it back together, is I put just a little bit of air in that bladder to help it hold its position in life. Also helps push more bubbles out. I just couldn't see that, but trust me, it did. Now that that's in there, I'm gonna let some of that air back out. We're gonna go down, let some of the air back out so that we can get the clip in. Otherwise, it's real hard to do. let that come out. Ooh, I don't know if you heard that. That's air that's in there. All right, now that that is all sealed, is we're going to chalk this up here, and before I take this compression valve out, I'm going to put even more air into the bladder. And this is kind of like pressure bleeding, like vacuum bleeding, not vacuum, but pressure. It, like when you put pressure into a thing against oil and stuff like that, it will force bubbles out of solution. I'll put about 40 pounds in here, a little bit more, maybe 40 or maybe 50. Yeah, 57. Then we're gonna cycle it a few times. And it should be hard because there's air pressure in there. And what that's gonna do is help force all those bubbles up and out. Then we're gonna let it out. If you don't do this, if you don't let that out and you take this off, it will spray oil everywhere. Down in there is our compression valve. Take a pair of these really nice snap-on pliers. Dude, these things are sweet. They come in at a pretty flat angle, and this thing's steel anyway, but it's gonna be nice and easy on it, and just wiggle it up and out. Attach our bleed cup. A little bit more shock oil in there. Now we can bleed this thing up and down, get all the bubbles out. All right, guys, make sure we're almost done here. Make sure you remember to go and enter to win this motorcycle. Only 1,000 entries. We've already sold quite a few. Make sure you get entered, guys. There's lots of cool ways to enter. You can buy stickers, you can buy merch. There's free ways to enter. Yeah, all that stuff is explained at highland-cycles.com. Make sure you go there, check it out. And we're getting dangerously close to getting all the air out of this sucker. Push it back in there. Remember, it took a little force to get it out, so it takes a little force to push it all the way in. All right, let's go put some nitrogen in it. Nitrogen is over in Zach's world, and I'm walking around all the stuff because we're not open today. All right, guys. You saw me let the air out, and now we're gonna put 150 PSI in. No, it's not always 150 PSI. It is a lot of times that, but that's not always our spec. Really depends on the rider. Like I said, it really depends on the rider, the valving, and all that stuff. So, I think the max I've seen us use is like 165, 170. It's almost always over 150, or 150 or over, I should say. We'll cycle it. So when we cycle it, guys, that is to make sure there's no air in it. There. Tip you up a little bit. There we go. So we're gonna cycle it. It's gonna be tough. And then we'll let it go. You don't want to see any like moving, like quick movements. Nice, smooth all the way to the top. Also don't want to hear any ticking. So perfect.
shine this spring up just a little bit. Right. Quick little tech tip. I did it before I started, but take some sort of lube or something and spray it on these threads as you're coming apart, and then it'll stay on there even after we've washed it and stuff. I'll hit them again. I like 6-in-1, actually. It's really good. But just kind of do that. That helps these things not get all galled up and nasty. The other thing is, super duper tech tip, don't try to adjust this shock. Any like KYB that has this style threads with these style lock washers or rings, you know, because you'll completely ruin the threads, because as this thing gets hot, it'll expand, and those things will get soft when they're super hot, and if you try to take it off, it'll ruin these things. So don't do that. Other little tip, if you're with this style, since there's no markings anywhere on this to tell you like where you started, to do like 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, because most of our specs have an amount of turns that we preload them. Of course, we want to check rider sag and all that stuff to make sure it's right, but that's how it gets close. I take a chisel punch and just put a little notch in there. Now we're gonna go 6 turns is the spec on this. There we go, guys. Suspension is rebuilt on the YZ124. Super excited about that. Make sure you use the links in the description with Rocky Mountain ATV, MC. Also, they're having a big July 4th sale right now. Of course, if you see this years from now or whatever, I don't know. But if you're watching this when it comes out, there still will be a sale going on Rocky Mountain ATV. If you use our link, you still get all those discounts, but it helps us out. But first, please shop locally. Always shop local first, but if you need some Tusk stuff, some MSR stuff, or you just don't want to shop at your local store because you don't like those guys that much, and you want to help us out, use the Rocky Mountain link. Also, go to highland-cycles.com. Get entered to win this bike. You can see we are going through this thing tip to tail and going to make it absolutely super duper rad. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next one.